Hello, I'm Dr. Scott Werner. I am a previous medical doctor who now just does spiritual type work and readings. And currently, I was supposed to do a radio show on Blog Talk Radio, but somehow my time disappeared and I have no idea where Mike has gone. And so today I'm just going to do this for YouTube because I had a message prepared and no venue, even though I paid for the venue for a year. And anyway, that's just part of the progress, I guess, we're having. Shows come and go, but I'd like very much to present what I was going to talk about, because many of us are having problems with weight. Now, when you talk about weight management, first you got to talk about the emotional issues with eating. Now, very definitely, many of us are stressed out. We're not getting as much happiness and joy out of our lives as we wish we were getting, and so one of the pleasurable things to do is to eat. And one of the most pleasurable things to eat is sweet things, because they bring some sweetness into your life. And many of us are hooked on these things. Now, there's various causes emotionally. And the biggest emotional problem with eating is the inability to feel satisfied with life. And so instead of getting out, getting more education, getting a different job or a better job, we eat, because it's something that we can do easily, and it's something that gives us gratification. And a lot of things we do in this life are about self-gratification, believe it or not. So what are the problems with eating that cause this? And what I found over the years as a medical doctor, I was a OBGYN, and I dealt with a lot of women and women's health issues. And one of the biggest issues they had was weight management, believe it or not. And they'd have a baby, and the baby had come out, and they'd have 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds they gained during the pregnancy, and had great difficulty getting rid of that. And so I started out doing weight management just because we were taking care of women having babies. And very early on in my career, I developed cancer. Now, cancer is a horrible thing to develop, and mine was one of the worst, malignant melanoma. Stage 4, had tumors on my spine and my brain, and the docs tested it against radiation, which made it grow, tested it against chemotherapy, which did absolutely nothing to it, and surgical resection would have left me probably paralyzed, if not worse. And so they told me, well, you're doing okay, you're not in too much pain, go home and get your house in order, you'll probably be dead in 2 to 3 months. And so I went home and I prayed, and it was quite interesting. The name Hulda Clark came to me, and I went to work the next day, found an article by a Dr. Hulda Clark, a microbiologist out of Chicago, Illinois, who talked about parasite cleansing, and that fungus, parasites, and viruses mixed with toxins altered our DNA and caused cancer. And so I got to the end of the article. Her name and address and number was at the end. I dialed her number, the old rotary phone, and she answered the phone and taught me how to cure my cancer. Well, I was 260 pounds at the time, and the first couple of parasite cleanses, I lost 40 pounds. Of course, I was doing antifungals in between the parasite cleansing, because parasites lay eggs, she taught me. And so you do a 14-day parasite cleanse, and then you go on and instead of continuing the parasite cleanse, because the eggs won't hatch while you're doing the parasite cleanse, she had me do antifungals, antivirals, and also I did chelation therapy, cleaning up the toxins and heavy metals in my body, because she said those are stored in our fat. And when you lose the fat, you got to get rid of those chemicals out of your body, or you'll just gain the fat right back. And see, that's one of the things I found out about weight loss is we can lose the weight, but if we don't get rid of the toxins and the critters, it'll come right back. So anyway, I ended up losing 40 pounds in the first 2 months. And all the women in my practice said, Dr. Werner, how are you losing weight? And I told them, well, I'm doing parasite cleansing, chelation therapy, Esiac tea, cat's claw. And believe it or not, it got rid of all my tumors and cysts on my body and the malignant melanoma. And so, I was very happy, and I felt better than I'd felt in a couple of years. And the women in my practice were like, well, we want to lose weight. Can we do what you're doing? And I was like, well, I don't see why not. And I saw the only contraindication to doing a parasite cleanse was being pregnant. So I had to make sure they weren't pregnant, and we would start doing parasite cleansing and detoxing on these women. And sure enough, they lost weight. So I learned very early in my medical career that bugs in our body actually cause us to gain weight. Certain bugs. Now, there's certain parasites that'll make you lose weight, like tapeworms and different things like that. But most parasites want more body to parasitize, so they actually produce hormones that make you gain weight, and those hormones also keep the eggs from hatching. So when you take and do the parasite cleanse, those hormones drop. You lose the weight. Now, if you don't continue killing the parasites, obviously the weight will come back, because then the eggs will hatch, they'll grow up to be big and produce the hormones that make you want to gain weight again. So that's why a lot of people fail at losing weight. So my idea was to start doing something that would be even less expensive to help these women lose their weight. And what I found is homeopathics have energy that help make shifts in our body. And so I would do the parasite cleansing and then put them on antifungals and use a homeopathic to kill the virus and remove toxins from their body. And it worked remarkably good. And then we got the idea of putting the energy of the human growth hormone, human chorionic gonadotropin, or HCG, energy into the homeopathic. Now, there was a craze, a few years back of the injections of the actual hormone of pregnancy, which is the HCG. And they found that caused other problems, but the homeopathic energy of the human chorionic gonadotropin actually did not cause problems. And so we found that by using the hormones, the HCG, the HGH, human growth hormone, that actually helps you lose weight also and helps you gain muscle mass, and helping the thyroid by stimulating, using a little bit of thyroid stimulating hormone energy. Now, these are homeopathic, so they're not the hormones, they're the energy of the hormones. So they go into the body and they actually hit the receptor sites with the energy and cause the changes that you want to make. And so we made a product called Weightloss Drops that has these components and works very well. It puts you into a ketosis, and the only way you can get rid of fat is turning the fat globules in the fat cells into what we call ketones. And the energy of the HGH, the HCG, actually helps cause this change in the fat cells and starts making them release ketones, which was fats and the fatty acids, and helps them to be removed from the body. So it puts you into a ketosis state, and when you're in a ketosis state, you lose a little bit of potassium. And a little bit isn't a big deal, but when you continue losing potassium, it can cause problems with your electrolytes. And when you get problems with the electrolytes, you can cause, the acidosis to cause problems with the heart and other things. So we learn to replace potassium. So we put you on a potassium supplement that's natural. We give you a potassium, a sporotate or a potassium gluconate, potassium citrate, those kind of things, because they're not attached to potassium chloride. They're not attached to a chloride molecule, which is a radical element that can cause problems in the body if it gets too high. And so we put you on a good herbal potassium supplement. And then we also help the liver to detox. So going on a good liver detoxer helps, because the liver gets all the toxins out of the body, and it removes them from the bloodstream, from the body, and puts them into the intestines. And then we give you something to bind those toxins in the intestines and pulls them out of your body. And Systemic Formulas made a really nice one called Bind that binds the toxins. And you take it in the middle of the night, and this ketosis makes you pee. And you're peeing out ketones and potassium, but you're also peeing out the toxins. And so you bind them and carry them out. So helping the kidneys is very important, and helping the liver while you're on this detox is very important, because those are two of our organs of elimination. Now the other organ of elimination is the colon. Now a long time ago, all of us started drinking bottled water, and plastics actually clogged up the lymphatic ducts that used to dump a lot of our toxins into our colon to eliminate them in our stool. And it backed these up by clogging them, and so our lymphatics got so they weren't working so well. And there's a product that's called C-colon that helps keep the colon activated, and then there's a new product from Innovita called LymphaX that actually helps open those back up and drains the lymphatics again through the colon. So there's a lot of good things we can do to help you lose weight and keep the weight off by getting rid of all the toxins and the parasitic hormones that caused you to gain the weight in the first place. Now, one of the things people always talk about is they crave sugars. Now, why do you crave sugars? You crave them because the sugars, when you start eating the sweets, you do it emotionally to, add some sweetness to your life. But then you end up getting fungus, because the more sugars you have in your body, the more you create fungus, because fungus eats the sugars and it makes them strong and healthy, and they just keep reproducing in the body. And then you have the problem with fungus actually taking over. And when you get too much fungus in your body, you feel fatigue, you feel ran down, you feel depression, especially when the fungus gets in the brain. Fungus has little hyphae, little straws, and they stick it into every cell around them, and they drain the cytoplasm out of the cells. And so they're actually taking your energy from your cells. They get in the thyroid, they get in the thymus, they get in the pituitary and the brain. They can cause depression, they can cause emotional problems, fatigue, and Also, they cause a lot of craving. They make you even crave more sugar because they'll eat all the sugar in your system. You become hypoglycemic and you're hungry for sugar. And so they create a problem where you're eating even more sweets, which even puts more weight on your body. So we also, during the time when we're not doing the antiparasitics, we put you on antifungals. And that keeps the fungus down and keeps them from being in charge. And if you take a little frankincense oil and touch it to your tongue, and then touch the roof of your tongue, it actually opens up the blood-brain barrier and helps kill the fungus that gets into the brain, and actually controls your thinking, making you crave food, and it's impossible to resist them. I call fungus the Borg because resistance is futile. So, there's a lot of things that happen that shouldn't be happening when we get these bugs in our body. And so getting the parasites gone, getting the fungus gone, getting the toxins gone helps you keep the weight off, which is really nice. I've met so many people who've done every fad diet, even paleo diets, different things, and if they don't get rid of the bugs, don't get rid of the organisms producing the hormones, don't get rid of the toxins, you'll gain the weight back. And so this is a very successful thing we found. So thank you for listening today. We are going to put the weight loss products on for 50% off. Now the product for the weight loss, called the weight loss drops, is normally $59.99. And we're going to drop that down to $30. So it's half off. The other products that we use for weight loss will also reduce to 50% off. One of them is called Herburetic, which gives you potassium in your body and helps the kidneys. The other one is called Liver Vitality, which helps helps the liver detox. The other one is G-Cell, which actually produces more glutathione in your body, and we're going to put that for 50% off, and it's normally $52, and that'll bring it down to $26. And then the bind is normally $50, and that'll bring it down to $25. So you'll be able to get all the products for a month worth of weight loss for a little over $100 plus shipping. So it'll be around $120 or so. So I think that's an excellent deal. Normally it'd be $250, and it'll be down to half that, which will be very good for people, because I know we're in that time of the year when we have Thanksgiving. We always eat too much, then we feel sick, and then we go through Christmas time and all the sweets of Christmas time, and then by New Year's we're just feeling so bloated and sick. We gotta make a New Year's resolution, and let me tell you, this time we're gonna start it right early, and we're going to have this special going through till the end of January. So just know we'll have these products available for half off through Health and Longevity Inc. at 157 East Riverside Drive here in St. George, Utah. Give us a call at 435-986-0025 and mention that you saw this video on YouTube. Well, I was going to do this show on Blog Talk Radio today, but it sort of disappeared into the internet somehow, and so I was unable to do it. But I wanted to get the message out that there is good ways to lose weight and keep that weight off and be healthier and stronger. And that's my bottom line. I want people to be healthy, strong, and getting rid of the parasites and fungus. You know, they're not sucking out your energy anymore, so you have more energy to do what you desire to do. And as you can see, you know, if I stand up, you know, I'm not overweight.